You're spending your life being available to everyone except yourself. You're answering every call, responding to every text, saying yes when your heart screams no, showing up for people who wouldn't cross the street for you. And somewhere in all of this endless giving, this constant availability, you've lost yourself completely. You've become a vending machine for other people's needs. And the coins they drop in never seem to be enough to buy back your peace of mind. Let me tell you something that might shake you to your core. When you stop being available to everything and everyone, when you finally draw a line in the sand and say this far and no further, your entire life transforms. Not gradually, not eventually, right now. In this moment, because availability isn't love, availability isn't kindness. Availability is often just fear dressed up in nice clothes, pretending to be virtue. Think about the last time you said yes, when everything inside you wanted to say no. Think about how that felt in your body. That tightness in your chest, that heaviness in your stomach, that voice in your head saying, why did I agree to this? You ignored it, you pushed it down. You told yourself you were being good, being nice, being helpful, but what you were really being was unavailable to yourself. You abandoned yourself to please someone else, and that's not noble. That's self-betrayal. The truth is that most people are walking around as servants to other people's agendas. They wake up in the morning and immediately check their phones to see who needs them, who wants them, who's demanding their attention. Before they've even brushed their teeth or had a glass of water, they're already in service mode. They're already available. And by the time they go to bed at night, they're exhausted, resentful, and wondering why life feels so heavy, so draining, so utterly joyless. Here's what nobody tells you. Your availability is teaching people how to treat you. When you're always available, you're sending a message that your time has no value, that your energy is unlimited, that your needs don't matter. You're training people to treat you like a resource instead of a human being. And then you wonder why people take you for granted, why they don't respect your boundaries, why they disappear when you need them but expect you to drop everything when they call. The universe responds to your self-respect. It really does. When you stop being available to situations and people that drain you, when you start honoring your own time and energy as sacred, everything shifts. Opportunities that were blocked suddenly open up. People who were taking advantage suddenly disappear or transform their behavior. Space appears in your life for what truly matters. But this only happens when you make the decision, the real decision, not the I'll try or maybe I should decision, but the absolute, non-negotiable decision that your life belongs to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about all the people who need you. You're thinking about how selfish it would be to say no. You're thinking about the guilt, the disappointment, the conflict. You're thinking about all the reasons why you can't possibly stop being available. And that right there, that thinking, is exactly what's keeping you trapped. Because you've confused being available with being loving. You've confused saying yes with being good. You've confused self-sacrifice with spirituality. Let me be clear about something. Saying no to what diminishes you is saying yes to what expands you. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your truth, you're saying no to something that does. You're trading your dreams for someone else's comfort. You're trading your peace for someone else's approval. And the devastating part is that the people you're sacrificing yourself for often don't even appreciate it. They just expect it. They just take it. And then they want more. There's a difference between being kind and being available. Kindness comes from a full cup. Availability often comes from an empty one. Kindness is a choice made from strength. Availability is often a compulsion driven by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being alone, fear of being seen as selfish or uncaring. But here's the paradox that will set you free. When you stop being available out of fear, you become available for love, real love. Not the conditional, transactional, I'll love you if you do what I want kind of love. But the genuine, unconditional, I see you and I honor you kind of love. The moment you stop being available is the moment you start being present. There's a massive difference. Being available means you're scattered, reactive, pulled in 1,000 directions. Being present means you're grounded, intentional, fully engaged with what matters. When you're constantly available, you're never really anywhere. You're physically in one place, but mentally somewhere else, worrying about all the demands waiting for you, all the people you need to please, all the obligations you need to fulfill. But when you stop being available, when you create boundaries around your time and energy, you can finally be where you are. You can finally be who you are. Your energy is the most valuable thing you have. Not your time, not your money, not your skills, your energy. Because everything flows from your energy. When your energy is high, you're creative, productive, joyful, magnetic. When your energy is low, everything becomes a struggle. And being constantly available is the fastest way to drain your energy. It's like leaving every window and door in your house wide open during winter and then wondering why you can't stay warm. You can't maintain your energy when you're available to everyone and everything. Stop and ask yourself right now, who am I available to that shouldn't have access to me? Who in my life treats my availability like an entitlement rather than a gift? What situations am I showing up for that consistently leave me feeling depleted, undervalued, or resentful? These are the questions that will change your life, but only if you answer them honestly and then act on what you know to be true. Here's something I've learned through years of working with people and observing human behavior. The people who respect themselves are the people who get respected. It's that simple and that profound. When you respect your own time, others will too. When you respect your own energy, others will too. When you respect your own boundaries, others will too. But if you don't respect yourself, you can't expect anyone else to do it for you. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. And I'm going to tell you something that might be hard to hear, but it's true. Some people in your life don't want you to stop being available. They like you just the way you are, accommodating, flexible, always there, because your availability serves them. They've built their comfort on your compliance. And when you start setting boundaries, when you start saying no, when you start honoring yourself, they're going to push back. They're going to call you selfish. They're going to guilt you. They're going to do everything they can to get you back into your old role because your growth threatens their comfort. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them adjust. Let them find someone else to drain, or better yet, let them learn to meet their own needs. Because you are not responsible for managing other people's emotions. You are not responsible for making everyone happy. You are not responsible for being everything to everyone. Your only responsibility is to be true to yourself and to honor the life you've been given. When you stop being available, the people who only loved what you could do for them will leave. And that's not a loss, that's a liberation. That's the trash taking itself out. That's the universe clearing space for people who will love you for who you are, not for what you can provide. It might feel lonely at first, it might feel scary, but on the other side of that fear is a freedom you've never known. On the other side of that loneliness is a peace that surpasses understanding. You've been conditioned to believe that your worth is tied to your usefulness. That love is something you have to earn by being helpful, by being available, by putting everyone else first. But that's not love, that's a transaction. Real love doesn't require you to abandon yourself. Real love doesn't demand your constant availability. Real love honors your needs, respects your boundaries, and celebrates your growth. Think about the relationships in your life that truly nourish you, the ones where you feel seen, heard, valued. Notice something? Those relationships don't require you to be constantly available. Those people understand when you need space. They respect when you say no. They don't take your presence for granted because they understand that your presence is a choice, not an obligation. That's what healthy relationships look like. Not dependency, but mutual respect. Not constant availability, but genuine connection. Now, let's talk about what happens internally when you stop being available. Because this isn't just about other people. This is about you. This is about reclaiming your life, your energy, your power. When you stop being available to everything external, you become available to everything internal. You start hearing your own voice again. You start feeling your own feelings. You start knowing your own truth. All those dreams you put on hold, all those desires you suppressed, all those parts of yourself you abandoned to make room for everyone else, they start coming back to life. You start remembering who you were before the world told you who you should be. You start reconnecting with your own wisdom, your own intuition, your own inner guidance. And this is where the real transformation happens. Because when you're connected to yourself, you stop seeking validation from others. When you're grounded in your own truth, you stop being swayed by other people's opinions. When you're full from within, you stop needing to be filled from without. The energy you've been pouring into being available for everyone else, that energy comes back to you, and you get to redirect it toward your own life, your own dreams, your own growth. You get to use it to create instead of just respond. You get to use it to build instead of just maintain. You get to use it to thrive instead of just survive. And when you start thriving, When you start living from overflow instead of depletion, you actually become more valuable to the people who truly matter because you're giving from abundance rather than scarcity. Here's a key insight. Unavailability is not the same as being unkind or uncaring. You can be loving and still have boundaries. You can be generous and still say no. You can be supportive and still prioritize yourself. In fact, the most loving thing you can do for the people in your life is to show up as your best self, and you can't be your best self when you're exhausted, resentful, and running on empty. When you stop being available, you're not abandoning people. You're teaching them to be responsible for themselves. You're teaching them that you're a person with needs, not a tool to be used. You're teaching them that relationships are reciprocal, not one-sided. And yes, some people won't like this. Some people will complain. Some people will call you names. Let them. Their discomfort with your boundaries is not your problem to fix. The guilt you feel when you say no, that's not your conscience. That's your conditioning. You've been trained to feel bad about honoring yourself. You've been trained to believe that self-care is selfish. You've been trained to put everyone else first and call it virtue. But look at where that's gotten you. Look at how you feel. Look at your life. Is this sustainable? Is this joyful? Is this the life you want to be living 5 years from now? Everything changes when you stop being available because you finally become available for your own life. You become available for your purpose, your passion, your joy. You become available for rest, for play, for creativity. You become available for growth, for learning, for transformation. You become available for the things that actually matter, instead of constantly putting out fires and managing other people's emergencies. And here's what's magical about this shift. When you stop being available to what doesn't serve you, you become magnetic to what does. The right opportunities start showing up. The right people start appearing. The right circumstances start aligning. It's not magic, it's energy. It's the law of attraction in action. When you change your energy, you change what you attract. When you value yourself, you attract people and situations that value you. But you have to be willing to go through the discomfort of the transition. You have to be willing to disappoint people. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be willing to stand alone if necessary. Because transformation isn't comfortable. Growth isn't easy. Change isn't neat and tidy. It's messy. It's hard. It requires courage. But on the other side of that courage is a life that's actually yours. A life that reflects your values, your dreams, your truth. Stop waiting for permission to honor yourself. Stop waiting for people to understand. Stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There's only now. There's only this moment. And in this moment, you get to choose. You get to decide that enough is enough. You get to decide that your life matters. You get to decide that you matter. Your availability has been your way of trying to control love, trying to ensure that people won't leave, trying to prove your worth. But love that requires constant availability isn't love. It's manipulation. Worth that has to be proven isn't worth. It's performance. Security that depends on pleasing others isn't security, it's anxiety. You've been building your life on a foundation of sand, and you wonder why everything keeps crumbling. When you stop being available, you start building on solid ground. You start building on self-respect, self-love, self-worth, and these things can't be shaken. These things can't be taken away. These things aren't dependent on other people's approval or acceptance. They come from within. They come from knowing who you are and refusing to betray yourself for anyone or anything. The people who truly love you will adjust to your new boundaries. They might not like it at first. They might struggle with it. But if they really care about you, they'll respect it, they'll understand it, they'll support it. And if they don't, if they disappear when you stop being constantly available, then they were never really there for you in the first place. They were there for what you could give them. And losing that kind of relationship isn't a loss, it's a gain. You gain your life back, you gain your energy back, you gain your peace back, you gain yourself back. And there is no relationship, no opportunity, no situation worth losing yourself over. None. Not your family, not your friends, not your job, not your partner. Nothing is worth the cost of your soul, the cost of your peace, the cost of your authenticity. When you stop being available, you stop living in reaction mode and start living in creation mode. You stop responding to life and start designing it. You stop letting circumstances dictate your days and start letting your values guide them. You stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the driver. And this shift, this fundamental shift from reactive to creative, from available to intentional, from scattered to focused, This is what changes everything. Your time on this earth is limited. You don't know how much you have. None of us do. And every moment you spend being available to what doesn't matter is a moment you're not available for what does. Every day you spend serving other people's agendas is a day you're not living your own. Every hour you give to obligations that drain you is an hour stolen from dreams that would fulfill you. This isn't about being selfish. This is about being self-full. This is about filling your own cup so you have something real to give. This is about honoring the life you've been given instead of squandering it on people and situations that don't honor you. This is about waking up and realizing that you've been sleeping through your own life, that you've been so busy being available to everyone else that you've been completely unavailable to yourself. And when you finally stop, when you finally say no more, when you finally draw those boundaries and mean them, everything changes. Your energy changes, your relationships change, your opportunities change, your entire experience of life changes. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. Because you finally decided that you matter, that your needs matter, that your life matters. The resistance you'll face, both internal and external, is real. Your mind will try to convince you that you're being selfish. Your guilt will try to pull you back into old patterns. The people who benefited from your constant availability will try to manipulate you back into service. You'll be tested over and over again. And every time you hold your boundary, every time you honor yourself, every time you choose you, you'll get stronger. Your boundaries will get clearer. Your resolve will get firmer. Your commitment to yourself will become unshakable. This is the path of self-mastery. Not mastery over others, but mastery over yourself. Mastery over your impulses to please. Mastery over your fears of rejection. Mastery over your need for external validation. And when you achieve this mastery, when you become the authority in your own life, you step into a power that no one can take from you because it comes from within. Stop being available to drama. Stop being available to chaos. Stop being available to people who only call when they need something. Stop being available to situations that consistently leave you feeling bad about yourself. Stop being available to relationships that are all take and no give. Stop being available to jobs that exploit your dedication. Stop being available to anyone or anything that treats your presence like a given rather than a gift. Your presence is a gift. Your time is a gift. Your energy is a gift. And gifts are meant to be given freely, not demanded or taken for granted. When someone treats your availability like an entitlement, they're telling you they don't value you. Believe them and act accordingly, not with anger, not with resentment, but with clear, firm boundaries that protect your peace and preserve your energy. The freedom that comes from being unavailable to what doesn't serve you is unlike anything else. It's the freedom to breathe, to think, to feel, to be. It's the freedom to pursue what lights you up instead of constantly putting out fires. It's the freedom to rest without guilt, to play without shame, to prioritize yourself without apology. It's the freedom to live according to your own values instead of constantly accommodating everyone else's expectations. And in this freedom, you find yourself, the real you. Not the version you created to be acceptable, not the mask you wear to fit in, not the role you play to keep the peace. The authentic, raw, real you. The you that's been buried under layers of people-pleasing and self-sacrifice. The you that's been waiting for permission to exist. The you that's always been there, just waiting to be claimed. When you stop being available, you start being alive. Really alive. Not just going through the motions, not just surviving, not just existing, but truly living, feeling fully, loving deeply, creating freely, contributing meaningfully. And all of this becomes possible not by adding more to your life, but by subtracting, by removing what doesn't belong, by releasing what no longer serves, by saying no to what diminishes so you can say yes to what expands. Your life is your message. And right now, what message are you sending? Are you saying that your worth is tied to your availability? Are you saying that other people's needs are more important than yours? Are you saying that you don't deserve rest, peace, joy, fulfillment, because that's what constant availability communicates, both to others and to yourself? Change the message. Change it now. Say with your actions, with your choices, with your boundaries that you matter. Say that your life is valuable. Say that your time is precious. Say that your energy is sacred, and watch how the world responds. Watch how people adjust. Watch how opportunities shift. Watch how your entire experience transforms. This isn't about becoming cold or unavailable in the sense of being uncaring. This is about becoming discerning. This is about choosing consciously where you place your energy instead of just scattering it everywhere. This is about quality over quantity in every area of your life. Quality relationships, quality experiences, quality use of time, quality engagement with what matters. You can't have quality anything when you're available to everything. You can't have meaningful connections when you're spread too thin. You can't have powerful impact when your energy is diluted across 1,000 different demands. You can't create the life you want while constantly responding to everyone else's agenda. It's impossible. And you know it's impossible because you've been trying and it's not working. So stop trying to do the impossible. Stop trying to be everything to everyone. Stop trying to please everyone. Stop trying to make everyone happy. It can't be done. And the attempt is killing you. It's killing your spirit, your joy, your vitality, your dreams. Every day that you remain constantly available is another day that you betray yourself, another day that you abandon your own life to live in service to others. And I'm not talking about genuine service, the kind that comes from a full heart and a willing spirit. I'm talking about the compulsive availability that comes from fear and conditioning, the kind that leaves you empty, the kind that breeds resentment, the kind that slowly erodes your sense of self until you don't even know who you are anymore, outside of what you do for others. When you stop being available, you rediscover yourself. You remember what you like, what you want, what you need. You reconnect with your own desires, your own dreams, your own voice. And this reconnection is everything. This is the homecoming you've been searching for in all the wrong places. You've been looking for home in other people's approval, in external achievement, in constant busyness. But home is within you. And you can only find it when you stop being available to everything external and start being present to everything internal. The transformation that happens when you stop being available isn't just personal, it's universal. Your children, if you have them, learn that boundaries are healthy. Your friends learn what real friendship looks like. Your colleagues learn how to respect professional limits. Your family learns that love doesn't mean unlimited access. Everyone in your orbit receives the message that people are not resources to be used, but human beings to be respected. And maybe, just maybe, your example gives someone else permission to stop being constantly available too. Maybe your boundaries inspire someone else to set their own. Maybe your choice to honor yourself encourages someone else to do the same. That's how change happens, one person at a time, one boundary at a time, one choice at a time. You are not here to be used up and discarded. You are not here to exhaust yourself in service to others while neglecting yourself. You are not here to make everyone else comfortable while you suffer in silence. You are here to live fully, love deeply, contribute meaningfully, and grow continuously. And none of that is possible when you're constantly available to everyone and everything. So make the decision right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when things calm down. Now, decide that your life belongs to you. Decide that your time is valuable. Decide that your energy is sacred. Decide that you matter. And then act from that decision. Set boundaries. Say no. Disappoint people if necessary. Choose yourself. Honor yourself. Respect yourself. Everything changes when you stop being available because you finally become available for your own life, your own truth, your own joy. And that changes everything. Not just for you, but for everyone around you. Because when you're full, when you're whole, when you're honoring yourself, you become a light for others. Not a doormat, not a servant, not a resource. A light. And the world needs your light. But it needs your light shining bright, not dimmed by exhaustion and resentment. Stop being available. Start being alive. That's the message. That's the truth. That's the path to the life you've always wanted but been too available to everyone else to actually live. The time is now. The choice is yours. And everything, absolutely everything, changes when you finally make it.